Good morning. It's working. Yeah, my name is Jordi van Oort. Everywhere, let me go back. Yeah, I have the privilege to work with EarthRanger a lot, but it's also quite interesting because a lot of the stuff that Chris has been showing this morning, I actually didn't really see before. So it also means that we are having a hard time keeping up with what these guys are doing, which is a good thing because it's just going very fast. So this is where we are currently having EarthRanger within African parks. So you see that's a lot of parks. Not all of them are using it as much as I would like them to use, but that's a work in progress. We're getting there. And what I quickly want to talk about is how we do the rollout and how we make that as efficient as possible so we can actually automate a lot of things and work with the parks. So it all starts with maps. I think all of you know that you'd want to have a good map of your reserve. And we've tried to now put that all into Esri. And then, yeah, so actually just go to the video. That's probably easier.
Now let me show you a little bit of what that looks like. This is our enterprise data management map in ArcGIS Pro. This is where we manage all of our points, line and polygon features, or at least the static ones within our organization. So you'll see a lot of points here that are in or around the parks that we manage, and that are important for park management to know as geospatial features. As you can see, we divided them up in a couple of different feature layers, and I'd like to just take you through to one of our parks, which is Zakuma, to use as an example. So let me go there. So these are all the points that we have for Zakuma, all of the information that we have that is static at the moment. If I pull up this little menu here, you'll see, for instance, the backbone in the park, the communication backbone towers, and I will get back to you about that. You see, these are their locations. All of that data is managed through here. It's coming in here straight from the parks and from ourselves. We manage it here. We make sure all the attributes are correct, and then they go to the feature layers, which are the same feature layers that you saw in that ArcGIS Pro map. So you've got the boundaries, the land use, the community, the operations, the tourism, and the natural. And what we do then is create a view layer from these feature layers to send to the different parks. So you're looking at the Zakuma operations point layer, and this is the actual visual part of our data for this specific park, which means that when they work in this area, the people that are working in these parks and that are working on the GIS solutions, they can only see this part of our data. They work in this part of our data, but it gets sent back to our main data source, so our main feature layers, so that at a head office and at an organizational level, all of these things are always synchronized. It gets sent into the content. So you see now we went from the overall layers to the Zakuma layers. That's then being pumped into a Zakuma base map. So you see all of these different points again on the map. And from there, we are actually sending that to our situational awareness system. Within Africa Parks, we use EarthRanger. So in EarthRanger, you see all the same points again. So for instance, those backbone towers that I just showed you are going to be in here. You see the towers are here. These are exactly the same points as in our enterprise system. We can here see some of Sinyaka Minia, which is a different reserve. You can see Greater Zakuma. And all of this information is coming straight from our enterprise system. And every night at midnight, it is being synced. So whatever changes we make is automatically also included into these maps. And you can imagine that for us to manage the static features in a way like this is incredible. It's an incredible feat. And it's really nice for us to be able to work that way, because it means that we have one source of truth, which essentially is all of the data in here. And to go back to Africa, all of the data coming into our organization. So it's all in a single point, is being split out into the parks, but all of our applications and all of our situational awareness and the dashboards in the future are all linked back to these feature layers, which is incredibly useful for us.
Imagine that for us as deploying in all these parks, it's really nice for us to now be able to just work in our own GIS system, and it filters it out automatically, and the next day it's in EarthRanger. We don't have to worry about that. It's all just coming. And also if the parks change anything from their side, it will just be updated as well. And it will be there the next day. So yeah, if any one of you would be interested in doing the same thing, just talk to me after the presentation and we can definitely help you to set that up. So the other thing that we needed to do quite a lot is standardization of the reports. You can imagine that within a big organization like African Parks, we needed to redesign quite a lot of the reports to fit our needs and to fit our reporting needs. And then we also struggle, well, at least I struggle with the fact that we also speak French and Portuguese, which is not really what I do very well. But all of the back end is the same. So basically all of the values and all of this reporting schemas are the same. The only thing that changes is the actual display. So this makes sure that whatever park fills in the information, it will still come back to rep_patrol as a value. And from there, we can just get all of the data that we need straight into our reporting systems. This, I think, is the best slide for me because this is what I like most. You see Clementine here. She's sitting in the park at Akagera, explaining all the ranges, how all of these things work. So EarthRanger Track and Cyber Tracker. And I think this is also the most important part of all of our rollouts that is also the most difficult to do, and that is the training on the ground. So I used to work in Akagera for 2 years after leaving, and then Clementine took my job, and now Clementine is the reason I don't go back very often because she does her job very well, which is a really good thing. She's training the rangers on a monthly basis, keeping everything up to date and making sure that everyone can work with EarthRanger. And this is also where I think we want to be going as African Parks, just to make sure that we have people in the field who know what to do and also who know how to train the people in the field, speak their language. And that will make it a lot easier for us to accomplish what we want. So I think that the training part, and thanks for SAWC and Andy and all of those people, because the training that will be or is available now is actually very helpful for us, and we can now also start using that in the parks. Into the bush. This is then just a quick example of what it looks like, and I look at these things now every day, and I really like it. It's the closest I get to the park that I fell in love with. I just follow the rangers with EarthRanger Track. It updates their points every 10 seconds, and as soon as they find a rhino, they'll put it in the report in Cyber Tracker, and as soon as they click add report, it will go into the control room. The control room will verify if it's okay, and then from there we can send it anywhere in our organization. So it's really, we've come from having a full closet of paper to all of these systems in about 3-4 years now. So that's really, really awesome for us. And then this is where we really want to go with EarthRanger within our organization. We would really want to use EarthRanger as much as possible as one source of truth. So our incidents are coming in, so all of the reports. We really want to move towards static reports as well, which we are doing right now with my colleague Jeff and Marijn, and we're getting, well, I'm not getting too good at it, but the people who can code very well, like Jeff, they're very good in including this into a system. So gateways, this is a LoRa gateway that we're also monitoring now through EarthRanger. It will give us an update when it goes offline. And from there, we can then also start asking people if they can go and check things. And that will work the same for radio systems. It will work the same for force fan sensor. So static sensors are coming very soon for us. Then obviously all the subjects are going in. So the lions and also the vehicles. And it's all going into EarthRanger. And then it gets sent out to all of our reporting systems. So we have AP Reporter, we've got the asset reporting, we will have the management dashboards and the dashboard soon. After being here for a couple of days again, I think we should also really look at Tableau again. So we'll get there. And then, yeah, the world just means we can send data now through the API calls and pushes anywhere where we need it to go because of EarthRanger. So for us, that is really one of the most useful things of EarthRanger. This I just wanted to show because this is our AP reporter. You can see, it looks a lot like a lot of reporting things. This is done by Marijn, our colleague at head office, who does an incredible job because I think it looks awesome. But all of the data will be in there, coming straight from EarthRanger when this is all finished. It is a huge project to start doing that. Even with Esri and all of those things, we actually need to thank, and it sounds stupid, but we need to thank COVID, because of COVID, we couldn't travel. And all of the Esri stuff was done during that time. And a lot of the programming of these things was also done during that time. So yeah, this will be one of the end goals for all of our reporting system. For EarthRanger and all of the reports coming in. And then what I do want to tell everyone who's going to roll out in different areas is you really need to talk to a lot of people on the ground and get the understanding of what people need. We've put, for instance, an EarthRanger system in Banjari, and we've put one in Park W, both in Benin, working very well, all going well. But now 1 year down the line, people have realized that it's probably better to just have one system. Which is what we were talking about last year, but that wasn't happening. So it is going to happen within now in a couple of months when we have time again, which is good, but it's obviously nicer to realize these things when you start. So we're getting there, but that's one of the real things that I wanted to mention as well, is that the underlying aspects of any EarthRanger are very good to talk about with all of your partners, see if everyone's on board before you start rolling out, because otherwise it will be a never-ending story of following up. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, if you have any questions, please do ask them, and otherwise find me after the talks.